Someone looked at you recently and said, "You have changed." And the way they said it did not feel like a compliment. It felt like an accusation, like you did something wrong, like growing was something you should apologize for. And somewhere inside, you felt guilty for healing, for becoming more yourself than you have ever been. Stay with me, because what I am about to tell you is going to set you free from a guilt you were never supposed to carry. When someone says, "You have changed," with that tone, with that disappointment, with that quiet accusation, what they're really saying is, you are no longer what I needed you to be. Not what you needed to be, what they needed. The version of you they miss was useful to them. Predictable, available, manageable, easy to influence, easy to keep small, easy to keep in a box that was comfortable for them to put you in. And when you grew, when you healed, when you started taking up your real space, that box stopped fitting. And instead of celebrating that you had outgrown a box that was always too small for you, they called it a problem. This is the question nobody asks. Who benefited from the version of you they say they miss? Because that version, the quieter one, the one who never said no, the one who always showed up, even when she was running on empty, the one who swallowed things that hurt and kept smiling. That version was not thriving. She was surviving. She was managing. She was performing a version of herself that kept everyone else comfortable at the expense of herself. And the people who miss that version miss her. Not because she was the real you, but because she was easier. Easier to predict. Easier to take from. Easier to keep exactly where they wanted you, without ever asking if that was where you wanted to be. Here is something important. When you grow, when you heal, when you become more yourself, it always feels like loss to the people who were comfortable with your limitations. Your boundaries feel like rejection to people who benefited from having no boundaries with you. Your confidence feels like arrogance to people who preferred you uncertain. Your peace feels like coldness to people who were used to your anxiety keeping you close. Your growth threatens the dynamic they built their relationship with you on. And so they call it change. They say they miss the old you. They make you feel guilty for becoming who you were always meant to be. But here is the truth that cuts through all of it. The version of you they miss was never really you. It was the version of you that had not yet discovered her own worth. The version that had not yet learned that no is a complete sentence. The version that had not yet understood that her presence is not something she owes to everyone who demands it. The version that had not yet realized that being needed is not the same as being loved. That one was not the real you. The real you, the one that is emerging now, the one that sets boundaries and means them, the one that says no without a 3-paragraph explanation. The one that chooses herself without drowning in guilt. That is the real you. And she is not a problem. She is a breakthrough. Let me be very clear about something. You are not responsible for the comfort of people who preferred you wounded. Read that again. You are not responsible for the comfort of people who only stayed because your wounds made you easier to control. The guilt you feel for growing is not yours to carry. It was placed on you by people who needed you to stay small, to feel big themselves. And you have been carrying it long enough. Put it down. You do not owe anyone the wounded version of yourself as a permanent residence. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to become the fullest, most real, most unapologetic version of who you were created to be. And no one, not one single person who truly loves you, will ask you not to. Here is the beautiful truth on the other side of this. The people who truly love you do not miss the wounded version. They celebrate the healed one. They do not say, "You have changed," with disappointment. They say it with wonder, with pride, with, "Look at who you are becoming." They are not threatened by your growth. They are inspired by it. They do not need you small to feel safe. They want you full, because your fullness makes the world around them better. Those are your people, and they are worth growing for. So the next time someone says, "You have changed," with that tone, with that quiet accusation, I want you to do something. Agree with them. Yes, I have changed. I have healed. I have grown. I have become more myself than I have ever been. And I am not going back to a version of me that existed for your comfort at the cost of my own. Keep growing. Keep healing. Keep becoming. Because the version of you that they miss was never really you. It was you before you remembered who you were. And the you that is emerging now is not a problem. She is finally the answer.